finger again. You see that? He finished his drum roll and then gave me the finger. I can't believe it. Guys, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, my first guest starred in The Hulk, and beginning Friday, you can see him with Brad Pitt in the huge epic Troy. Please welcome Eric Bana. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure, you know that.
I'll talk to you about the movie in a sec, which I saw last week, which I loved. That's one of these movies that just completely takes you to a different place, very impressive. But first, I got to ask you about you, which is you grew up in Australia, is that right?
Yeah, I grew up in Australia, still live there in Melbourne, yeah.
You live there in Melbourne. I haven't been to Melbourne, but
you gotta come down, mate.
I've been to Sydney, which I loved. And people are so friendly in Australia. They're incredible. It's the friendliest people. Punch them in the face, and they're like, "Good day, mate."
Not a problem. Yeah. It's because we want you to drink with us, so we don't want to offend you in case you don't want to.
I'm easy. I'll drink with anyone.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. So you're from Australia, and you still live in Australia, but at one point, you spent some time traveling around the United States, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. When I was 21, I was stupid, and I decided to.
A lot
travel.
of us are.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with that affliction.
And I decided to fly to America, buy an old car and drive around for 6 months by myself. Like I say, stupid idea, like just by myself.
Right.
So that's what I did. I started off in New York, bought a car for $750 and drove like 14,000 miles around the country. And it was a lot of fun. I did some pretty stupid things.
Like what? Tell me something really, because I did the same thing. I drove around America in a 1973 Plymouth Valiant.
That was a stupid part,
by myself, right? And by myself is the stupid part,
Yeah,
because you lose your mind a little
scary.
bit. And I was by myself, and I was just saying things like, "Mary had a little lamb." You know, you lose your mind. You just want to hear a human voice. So what did you do that was so stupid? Top that.
Okay. Well, I didn't have much money, as you don't when you're 21, and I couldn't afford to stay in a hotel every night, and you occasionally get desperate for a shower, you know, and which I still today do. And
I was going to say something.
So I was so desperate, and I found this place called Myrtle Beach in South Carolina by accident. I had no idea where Myrtle Beach was, and I came across it, and it was really hot, and I needed a shower because I was going to go out. I was going to have a big night. And I found this gas station that was closed, and I saw there was this, like, a tap. You know how the taps at the gas station are about this high off the ground? I thought,
right. It's like for a hose or something.
Yeah. And I'll just, like, you know, wash up and stuff. So I parked my car, opened the trunk, and I got it all laid out. Got the underwear, got, you know, the towel, got the shampoo and stuff. I'm just going to get away with this. I'll be really quick. So I start, like, washing my hair and stuff, and I think, you know, this is not good enough. I really feel like I need to feel water just over my body.
Right.
So I then decided I'll sit down. So I sit down on the concrete, and I got my underwear on. And
just
I'm like,
your underwear,
just
nothing
my
else.
underwear,
Okay.
and not aware of like where I am really. I'm on this, you know, in this gas station, and I think I've got to get my head under this tap. So I crawl down, and I finally get underneath the tap. I'm like this, and I'm sitting there, and I've got the shampoo out, and I've got like white froth like this.
Right.
And then I get my head jammed under the tap. So now I'm like this, and the water is going like everywhere. And there's a guy in an apartment building, and he comes out in the balcony and says, "Hey, you can't take a shower in a gas station." Then this cop car pulls up, and he looks at me.
And you're stuck. You're trying to escape.
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I'm like this. I'm like under the tap, water everywhere.
Underwear,
Blue underwear with shampoo running down my head. And the only thing I can think of to say is I look at the cop and I say, "It's all right, mate. I'm Australian."
And he's, you know, oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't get arrested.
Yeah. That's the ultimate excuse for many things. Now, let me. I saw Troy last week, and it is pretty amazing when you see these scenes and you don't know how they did it. You'll have 1,000 extras in some scenes, it looks like, and it's not computer effects. I mean, I'm sure you're using some computer effects, but there's scenes where the movie company's employed thousands of people to recreate these huge battles. Do you ever lose your focus when they get 1,000 people out there, the director has a bullhorn, you're trying to do this complicated scene, and you know, it just seems so surreal.
No, you're right. I mean, it is great that we had so many people and they spent so much money on set. So you really did feel like you were in Troy. I mean, it was ridiculous. The only time I really got taken out of my moment was I was on this beautiful stallion, and I'm on the horse, and I've got this great speech to deliver to all my troops. I feel like $1 million, and this is Troy. I'm in Troy, and I'm standing there, and I'm halfway through my little speech, and the first assistant director goes, "Cut, cut, cut." I'm like, that was good. Like, I really felt it, you know. And everyone starts laughing, and I'm like, oh, this is really bad now. You know,
Right.
I'm clearly not Hector of Troy. And I turn around and I see like this 10-story cruise liner sailing through the back of the city of Troy with about 5,000 people perched up on the ledge because they're convinced they're going to get a glimpse of Brad Pitt on the set of Troy.
Yeah.
You know?
Pick him out of like 10,000 people.
Yeah, and they're just
there
like
he
this,
is.
and they're looking down and no
Right.
blonde hair, and they're just like back to their business.
I would think that would happen a lot in movies, because when you see this movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, it's just giant, huge panoramic scenes, and you think in the background, it just takes one jerk on a hang glider going by with a sign that says, you know, drink at McQuiggly's Pub, you know, and cut, the whole scene's gone.
So true. It's so true.
You're the hair in this movie, too. I gotta say, it's ancient Troy. You know, we're talking about ancient times, but everyone's hair is just so, like, luxuriant, and like Brad Pitt's hair, it just looks like they've spent weeks working on it. You know, it's
That's why the film took so long to shoot.
Yeah.
We had 3 weeks in the makeup chair for like 1 day of shooting. We had this incredible hairstylist, Aldo, he's one of the greatest hair people like in the world, but he's slightly mad. And he's kind of crazy. He's worked with all the greatest people, and he's very well respected. But it's a bit of a workout working with him, because he's like a hair Nazi, you know. And
right.
You'd come in after a weekend, and you'd sit down, and he'd come in, and he'd just start like abusing you.
Right.
And he'd like take a look at your hair, and he'd be like, I don't know what you've been doing. I think maybe you've been swimming in the ocean. Brad, tell me, did you wash the hair? I tell you, do not wash the hair.
Yeah.
I cannot work with this. Look at this.
He would not be happy with me. Let's leave it at that. He would not like what I do to my hair. Yeah. I got to meet this guy now. You spent just hours and hours and hours on this film with Brad Pitt. What did you guys do in your downtime? Like, did you just ever find yourself, you must have found yourself, you know, for hours on end just sitting with this guy.
You do, because, you know, most of the movie is actually spent sitting outside your trailer, just kind of like talking, waiting to be called to go to set. And we had 2 sets running simultaneously, and we'd always be at work waiting to go to work. So we kind of set up this, the trailers were parked next to each other, and we kind of set up like a bar and a bit of shade cloth, and we try to make it, you know, homely. So, yeah, we spent thousands of hours there, and we had like a little bar, and we had a piñata that was kind of hung up.
You had a piñata?
This is when we were in Mexico.
Just in
for
case
like
a little
4 months.
birthday party broke out
Yeah,
suddenly?
just in case. And it was so hot that we just never got the energy to break the piñata. And we'd just sit there and just stare at it and go, should we hit it today?
That's the saddest thing. That's a new kind of lazy. People that are looking at a piñata, but too drunk to do anything about it. There's a stick right there. Yeah. Let's leave that donkey alone. Well, we have a clip from Troy. I don't know which clip this is, but help us set this up.
I think this is where the Greek army amass in front of the gates of Troy, and I'm the leader of the Trojan army, and I've got to face off with Agamemnon, who's the leader of the Greek armada who sailed to Troy. And he really wants to rule the world, this guy, and I'm trying to protect the Trojans. And it's this beautiful moment where, you know, in the old days, they used to just, like, face off and have a bit of a discussion before they'd then, like, ring the bell and go, round 1, you know, in the blue corner, Troy, in the red corner, the Greeks, whoa, get it on. And we come together.
That's a very different movie you're describing. That's Spring Break 4. I've seen that movie.
So this is the scene where myself and wonderful actor Brian Cox face off and have a bit of a discussion about how it's going to go down.
Let's take a look at this clip from Troy. Good fight scenes in this movie. Troy opens Friday. Eric, thank you so much for being here. Always great. Eric Bana, everyone, in your floor. Come help us take a break. We'll be right back.